Okay, let's talk about the short constructed response that you'll have on your STAR Reading Language Arts test. You will have one or two questions like this to answer, and they will be based on something that you've already read. The good news is these are super easy. It's very easy to tell what kind of response you need to write for this when you look at it. And you guys are already prepared because you've been working on race responses all year. When you look at this prompt and this question, you can tell right away that it is a short constructed response, which is just one paragraph, because the question and the prompt and the box are all small. It's short. Everything is small. And then if you look at the bottom right-hand corner of the box down here, you have 475 characters that you can use. And a character is going to be, remember, anything it's going to be a letter, a number, punctuation, a dash, anything like that, but it will not include spaces. If you write a well-constructed, very thorough race paragraph to respond to this, you will have plenty of room to do that in 475 characters, and you actually may have some left over. So before we dive into how to answer this question, let's just briefly look at the extended constructed response so that you can see how easy it is to tell the difference, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about answering this question using race. So I'm going to go up here to my item list, and I'm going to jump ahead to question number 9 because I know that's where the extended constructed response is, because I peeked before I videoed. So on first glance, you can see that this is a very different looking prompt. It has a lot more detail. The instructions are much longer. And if you look at the response box, you have 2,300 characters. So this is the one that you will respond to in an essay format with multiple paragraphs, 4 or 5 most likely. So let's go back now. I just wanted to show you the difference, so get a good look at that. And it's going to say, write a well-organized essay, so that you will know this is the thing that I need to write more about. All right, so let's go back to our short constructed response and talk about how to answer that using race. So it says, the prompt says, use the cholla cactus to answer the following question. Read the question carefully, then enter your answer in the box provided. All right, so this right here is actually the prompt. This is what I need to pay attention to because this is the question that I'm answering. Based on paragraph 7 of the article, The Cholla Cactus, why does the wood rat use the cholla cactus to build its nest? Support your answer with evidence from the article. Well, I've been listening to my teachers all year, and I took notes and kept notes and annotated and kept tracks of my reading while I was reading. So all I really need to do first is I'm going to scan down to paragraph 7 and remind myself what that was about. But I'm also going to have a look at my annotations. So these are the notes that I took for the paragraph. They look a little bit different from yours maybe, but this is the way that I prefer to take my notes. And I'm just going to go down here to what I wrote for paragraph 7. And I see that paragraph 7, I wrote that it's about shelter. Obviously, I know that the whole thing is about the cholla cactus, right? So this paragraph is about it providing shelter, that wood rats use it in their nests, and specifically they use it to keep predators away and to protect them from severe temperatures. I wrote those down because those were the key ideas that I noticed as I was reading the first time through. So the good news is my answer is basically already written because I did exactly what I was supposed to do. So let's go back to, well, actually first, let me show you. When I first got my scratch paper, I wrote down the RACE acronym just to remember, like, this is what I need to do, because I was afraid I might get really distracted with the test and kind of forget. So I have that written down. And now all I need to do is follow it to answer the question. So I know that I have to, the RA is restate important words from the prompt. And I know that paragraph 7 is important, so I'm going to highlight that. I know because I have to look at paragraph 7. This question is specifically asking me for information from paragraph 7. And then it's asking me about reasons that the wood rat uses the cholla cactus in its nest. So I need to make sure that my answer explains reasons. Okay, and it says why, so it could even just be one reason. So the first thing I need to do is R, restate the important words and answer the question. So if I go back to my notes and look, I see that the wood rat uses the cactus in its nest to provide shelter for the rat. That's my answer, guys. That's what I'm going to put here. So I'm going to restate the question. Okay, based on paragraph 7, the wood rat uses the cholla cactus in its nest because the cactus provides shelter. All right. Shelter, I know, is like when something is protected. Okay, so I want to keep that in mind for my explanation. But right now, I know I have my R and my A already done. Restate and answer. I've restated the important words, I've answered them, and now I need to give some text evidence. So I'm going to go back and look at paragraph 7. I can either do a direct quote or I can paraphrase. I want to do a direct quote of this. And remember, you only have to give one piece of text evidence. I'm actually going to do two here to show you what it looks like to do a direct quote and then to also to paraphrase, just to kind of review since we're already here. So I am going to select this part. I'm going to highlight it in purple or lavender because I need to keep looking back and forth at it, and this is going to help me pick it out. I can't copy and paste in this program, so so this will help me go back and look exactly where I'm taking the text from. So I'm going to start the sentence with, in paragraph 7, the author states that, comma, quotation mark, and then I'm going to type exactly what this says. Okay, so I have exactly this. The sharp spines of the cactus keep predators away from their nests, and then I close the quotation mark. I'm also going to paraphrase this second piece about the thick covering helping protect them from severe temperatures. So what it says actually is that the thick covering helps the wood rats keep cool in the hot summer and stay warm in the cold winter. So I'm just going to kind of paraphrase that and put it in my own words and say that it helps protect them from extreme temperatures. So my next sentence is going to say, the author also says that the thick covering of the cactus protects the wood rat from extreme temperatures. Okay, so we've talked about the fact that the E part of race is the hardest part because it just seems like it should be obvious. It's where you have to kind of tie your ideas together and explain how your evidence has proven your answer. Right, so my RA is the first sentence, and then I have my C. I've actually put two C's in here, which is okay. You don't have to, but I did just to show you two different ways to do it. And now I need to E, explain how my evidence proves my answer. All right, so I said before when I wrote my answer that the cactus provides shelter, and I needed to remember that shelter is a kind of protection. So I'm going to explain now that the sharp spines and the thick covering are both ways of protecting the wood rat's life. And it's going to be one super short sentence, y'all. Watch this. Both the spines and the Insulation, ooh, that's a good science word. Both the spines and the insulation of the cactus help protect the wood rat from danger. That's it, guys. That's it. That is a short constructed response. This one's much longer than you have to write. And if you'll look at the number of characters we have, there are 342 used out of 475. I could write 2 or 3 more sentences if I wanted to. I am not going to because I feel like this answer is really good. Now, 2 things. If I have spell check, I'm going to click the spell check to see if I have anything misspelled. You'll notice here that cholla is highlighted as being misspelled because it's a foreign word. I can go back and look in the passage and make sure that I've spelled it the correct way. And I can also see that I don't have to capitalize it. So I know it's correct the way it is. I'm going to just click and leave it alone. Now, I'm also going to mark this question for review because anytime I write something, I know that I want to give myself a few minutes to think about what I've written and then come back and look at it again because I'll see things I didn't notice in the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this question for review because when I get to the end of the test, it's going to tell me, hey, there's a flag on question 2, go back and look at it. And then I can go back, that will remind me to go back and reread my answer. I'm going to reread it to make sure that my grammar sounds good, that I have answered the question the way that I intended to, and that it makes sense. All right, so that is the short constructed response. Again, it's just a single race paragraph. It's really easy to see when you need to do one of these because the prompt and the question and the box are all short. All right, see you soon while we talk about the extended constructed response. Thanks, guys.